Hello, welcome back to my tea house. For today's cup of tea, we'll be doing a recap on my experience at GenCon, the first ever regionals in NA for this year, as well as my thoughts and opinions on Mustang. Now, first and foremost, let's cover the thing that everyone wants to know about. Is Mustang real? Is it the new king of the meta? Has Purple CG been dethroned? Now, I tweeted out jokingly that Purple CG has been dethroned, and part of me feels like that is slightly true. I don't know as much because it still has everything that you want in a deck. It still performs extremely well. It won the Red Riot 5K, but people just chose not to bring it, which was astonishing to me. Now, Mustang, I think Mustang is a great deck. I think it is strong. I think it's proved me wrong. Do I think it's the new king of the meta? No. I think that it is pilot dependent, and I think that Full Metal being out a week before regionals, as well as some people who aren't committed to the game like me and my team, like some of the other teams that were there, some of the other pros that were there, some people didn't lab against the deck and didn't know how to play against it. When I played against the deck, it wasn't all that for me personally, but I see the strengths, I understand the strengths, and not that many people understand what to target and what to deal with when going up against that deck. The strength about Mustang is having a lot of draw power, being able to, I guess, scry to an extent, right? So fix your deck with some of the cards, as well as have multiple impact and consistent removal outside of your special trigger in the Mustang. If your opponent is able to let that Mustang stick and they're consistently able to get cards into their hand, you're kind of ish out of luck, especially if you're playing a deck that only has 4 removals. Mustang has the 4 removal on top of how long and how many Mustangs he has on, on the board, right? So I don't think a lot of people understood what to target. Some people were probably consistently getting rid of the Hawkeye, which is understandable because Hawkeye is somewhat the engine. But if you had to choose between the Hawkeye and a Mustang, I'm probably going to say get rid of the Mustang every single time. Again, it is a body on board that can remove something, and your opponent can go from no cards in hand to 3 just like that with a simple military is crazy. On top of that, you have the impact pressure from the Mustang if you have no cards in hand, and if you play the Edward, which a couple people at the top tables were running a 2 of, you can play that in early or play that in at any point in time, take a life and have impact, which could be a great game closer or great early game pressure. Now, I think that if the deck was out for maybe a month in advance, we'd probably still see a Mustang win it all. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I still think Mustang wins it all, just because people weren't expecting it to be so like heavy in contention. And not that many people brought decks that are good into Mustang, again, which is surprising. There weren't that many Astas. There weren't that many Green Bleach, right? Freezing down the Mustang so he can't swing to remove a body. And there weren't that many 5K bodies. Not that many Lancelots. Not that many like hybrids of Full Metal Yellow. We did see Greeds there, but like the Greeds got bodied by Squad Zero and the Nuke deck that me and my team took. We'll get there. Mustang didn't really have anyone pressing it. And when you find out that Mustang is a good matchup into Squad Zero, you get this kind of results, right? I'm really excited to talk about what I took to GenCon. I know some people are interested. Shout out Wobble for all the flowers. It really does mean a lot. Getting the flowers, I tried my best to film. I tried my best to document as best as I could, and it makes me very happy to see that the community appreciated that, as well as supported that. We hit 800 subscribers. That makes me ecstatic. Now, the deck that I chose to take after labbing it out with my team, 3 of us decided to take it, and then 1 jumped ship last second to take the Mustang because he was more comfortable with that list. And we found out like in real time, bro, we watched the meta change. It's crazy. Side tangent. Being there day 1, side events, seeing that Squad Zero takes it, we're like, oh, not surprised. There's maybe a couple Mustangs there, and we're like, okay, Mustangs performing pretty well into Squad Zero. That's interesting. Second side event, a couple more Mustangs there. We still see the regular Sukuna as well as Squad Zero once again taking it, and we're like, okay, purple CG's nowhere to be found. Not that many Astas. Honestly, I might start using the side events as a good gauge of what the regionals might look like, because it was weird, bro. It was weird. No Vermilions, no Lancelots, but there were a sea of Squad Zeros, different variants, sea of Blue Sukunas, different variants, no CG, which again, weird. And a couple more Mustangs. And again, during these matchups, we're watching these tables, we're watching the side events, and we're seeing, Mustang is performing pretty well into Squad Zero. And a lot of it came down to the fact that Squad Zero might not have seen their sight early. If Squad Zero saw their sight early, had that extra draw recursion, they were able to consistently remove everything off Mustang's board, and Mustang wasn't able to stick. If they didn't see that sight early, Mustang stuck and just proceeded to have consistent pressure, consistent removal. And it was interesting to see that happen. That day, we saw a couple tweets in the Reddits, saw a couple posts on Facebook, people saying that Mustang is sneaky. And my team, we were like, yeah, sneaky, right, Mustang. Because again, not everyone wants to proxy out these decks and play test them. Well, we play test these decks with our communities and stuff like that. Mustang, we were bodying it. I was mopping Mustang with Asta, right? Toshi, you stun it, 5k bodies. It didn't crumble into 5k bodies, but it added a little pressure. And then of course the Squad Zero gave it a little pressure too. It came down to pilots or what you saw that match. And we're like, maybe we should test this again. Our homeboy had his Mustang. We tested it with Squad Zero because that's what we were seeing. That's what everyone was taking. And we realized that Mustang was favored in that matchup. And it caught us by surprise last minute, the day before regionals, the day before the event. And we're like, oh shit, this is going to be interesting. Lo and behold, we come the next day and it is a sea of Full Metal. Everyone took the idea of, oh, I want to do the surprise factor by heart, and everyone was playing it. Even some of the people that took Full Metal decks didn't know how to play against Full Metal decks. It was crazy. I'm like, bro, how are you gonna take one of the Full Metal decks? And there were people bringing Father and losing to Father. There were people losing to Father, and I love that deck, but I never thought Father in a region said I could have messed around and brought Dark Triad, no cap, and probably performed decently well. The reason why I didn't want to take Dark Triad, one, I didn't want to troll, and two, Dark Triad into Squad Zero, if you can't let your board stick, it's wraps. But it was astonishing to me to see everything, see all of that, see the different styles, seeing all the players play differently. A lot of players that were more experienced, that were at these higher tables, understood that novice players or casuals don't understand how to deal with Rookie Rush. And some of these lists, you'll see it, right? But they have low count bodies. Shout out Jane, once again, second place with that low count, being able to rush down your opponent early game if you have it, and then just close out the game by finding your removal and just raiding the 5-drop or raiding the Renji, popping it, blah, blah, blah. But being able to have that consistent double damage pressure from the Renjis as well as the new Ichigo, it's no wonder Renji Rush 2.0 was able to do what it did. Now, that being said, let's get into the Nuke deck. It was amazing seeing people coin it. Anytime someone played, they're like, oh my gosh, you're playing the Nuke deck. And we're like, oh, the Nuke deck? And they're like, yeah, blah, blah, blah was playing it. Talking about my homeboy Greg, who great deck builder, who came up with this idea, right? And basically, it's Squad Zero, but with a Byakuya package. And the reason why we wanted to do that is because into the Squad Zero matchup, we had better removal. You could remove maybe 2 bodies at a time, right? If you see it, 3 bodies if you see it. But with Byakuya, I can nuke your board, your whole entire board. Even if you have 3 4K bodies up there, I can nuke your whole entire board and swing out 4 damage in that one turn. And it was really, really strong. It just sucked that one of my matchups, I went into a high rolling Sukuna. There's nothing you're going to do in that matchup. And then I just got sacked second round. Not second round, but my second loss. I got sacked into a yellow Saitama. First 2 triggers, out of life, special, as well as me soft bricking, not seeing my double energy. There's nothing you can do, right? And then the third and final round to cement the pain, I was working my way back up there, right? X2, we were going up to the final tables, and I got matched up with the up pair, which happened to be one of my teammates. And it sucks, bro, because if you're playing against a green Saitama, a good green Saitama, they're gonna show you Saitama turn 4. Yes, it is possible. Go watch his Decklist tutorial. Go watch some of the games that we've done. Yes, it is possible. And he dropped 2 on me. It was painful. Wobble, it was not yellow Saitama. If you're watching this, Wobble, it was 2 15-1 green Saitamas. And then proceeded to show me a series punch to further brick me, right? The funny thing is, I showed him my hand and my double energy was the next card. Next turn, he loses the game. Right, next turn I see my double energy, I nuke his board. Those 5k kings gone, get them off the board, and I just swing out, kill him. Right, it is what it is. It happens. But the idea behind this deck, right, is the Byakuya and the Senbon Sakura being able to spread out multiple neg 1s to 2000s, right, as well as the when attacking to reduce another 1000, makes it so your weenies can also swing over. So sometimes you don't have to commit to multiple 4k bodies on board, right, which also allows you the opportunity to close out games easier, because when you raid the Renjis, when you raid the Byakuyas or the Senjimarus, you're opening up a hole in the wall and your babies are able to swing over. Now if you do it right, you nuke the board, there's maybe 1 body left on board, and it might be a 4k body that survived, but now that 4k body is a 1k, you're swinging with all your weenies first. He's not going to be able to block it. And then if he hits an active trigger, well, now it's a 4k body, your Byakuya still swings over it, right? And testing it into Squad Zero, it just came down to pilot dependent, making sure you're not making the wrong mistakes. And in the mirror matchup, when I play against my homie, it's who sees it, right? And it's a super fun deck. He gave me the blessing to go over the deck list, so we will transition. Starting off, we are going to talk about the legendary Zero Drop himself, the original 2000 BP aggressor, active trigger, Renji. We are running this at a 4 of, and that active trigger is very important in this deck. We will get there eventually when it comes up, but your standard 0 drop 2k body. Moving forward, we have the 3-1 Byakuya, which is arguably one of the most important cards in this deck. I want to say it opens up the line for a lot of combos. It helps you put Senjumaru in play, minusing a 4k body down to a 35, so now you only have to pitch 1 card off the Senjumaru raid. It helps with the Soifon. You minus 500 to a 4k BP. Now you tap the Soifong, that 4k drop is dead, which comes up in a lot of situations. You can also minus 500 on a 1500 BP that is getting pushed up for early aggression. Then you play your 2-1, it's dead. Or vice versa, if you raid in the Byakuya, any of those sorts. It honestly is crazy how much 500 BP is worth in this game and how it opens up the door for a lot of crazy combos. This is our color trigger. We are running this at a 4 of, and it also acts as a double energy, which is very valuable in this deck. On top of that, it is a 3000 BP, which is another valuable threshold in this deck, purely because if you raid the Byakuya, you minus everything by 1k. Now your 3k bodies are getting over their 4k, and they're feeling that pressure even more. We have our standard 1-drop Senjumaru, 2500 BP. Once again, it is an active trigger, which is very important in this deck because one of the most valuable cards is a double blocker. We will get there, okay? 2500 BP. Again, with this deck, we really wanted to focus on that early aggression with our low bodies being able to rush down some of those slower decks. This Senjumaru is a great opening line in both the mirror matchup or any aggro deck that you come across of. It's also good to just, play in the back, generate 1 energy, and then push 3 or push 4 if you feel like it. Just a really good card. I try not to raid off of this because if I do Byakuya raid or double Byakuya raid or something like that, this is probably getting over one of their bodies. Next, we are running 2 Royal Palaces. We are running a 4 of this special, and the reason being is you want to see this. We call this the Nuke deck purely because if you have one of these, 1 Byakuya, and then any of your other forms of removal, your Senjumaru, your Renji, your Soifan, another copy of Byakuya, you're clearing your opponent's whole entire board and you're swinging 4 to their face. It's really good for diminishing pressure. I will say the downside of this is if you don't have Byakuya on board, it feels bad playing this. It really does. But at the same time, because of the Senjumaru, because of the Soifan, you're able to still find value out of this card even if you don't have a Byakuya on field. Sometimes, I don't know why the raid Byakuya be coming and calling whenever, like, he be showing up for no reason, bro. We're like, bro, we're not ready for you. It's not the end game yet. Sometimes you just want to hard play that, get a 4k body out there, and now you can use this. Again, we teetered on adding a 1 of the Senjumaru special just because if we do have a banned hand, we could play the removal, ditch our whole hand, draw another 4 or something like that. But I don't know, the value in this removal was just too important for us to consider that, honestly. Now, we are running a 4 of the 2-1 Byakuya. This is the only non-trigger card in the deck. Again, much like the color Byakuya, this card opens up a lot of combos. If you think 500 BP was crazy, bro, we have Lelouch now. And I'm kind of upset they didn't give Byakuya a trigger. I need to understand why they gave Lelouch a freaking trigger, but not Byakuya. Maybe because there's a lot of BP reduction like in play with that deck, but I don't know. It's just not fair. It's just not fair to me, Next, we have a 4 of the 3-1 Oetsu. Now, because we are running 5 drops in this deck, the double energies are important. Honestly, if I'm running a 4 of 5 drops, I honestly want 10 double energy. Otherwise, you run the risk of soft bricking, and that did come up in a couple games where I probably could have won the game if I had that double energy. And them's are the breaks. That's what happens when you take that risk. But we are running a 4 of the Oetsu. This doubles as another potential 4k swing. On top of it, you get to scry when you play the card. So if you're filtering, looking for those Byakuyas, looking for those removals, looking for those key pieces, it helps you really cycle through your deck. On top of that, it is another active trigger. Next, we have our only 1500 BP Senjumaru. We honestly try not to push this up. We want to push up the 2-drop Byakuya, the 1-drop Senjumaru, the 0-drop Renji, the other 0-drop Squad Zero. That's a 2k. I forget her name. Those are the cards we really want to push up. But sometimes you see your Senjumarus and they just be popping up. And sometimes you just got a rookie rush. Damage is damage. Just knowing the tempo, knowing pacing, knowing when to push forward. Other than that, self-explanatory. It is your raid target for Senjumaru. Yeah, self-explanatory. This is a draw trigger. Helps you filter. Squad Zero name. don't really have to go more on that. We are running a 3 of this, if I'm not mistaken. Now we are running a 4 of the Senjumaru. It's funny because I don't even want to consider this a key piece to the deck. It just feels good, right? She's a 4K body that I can slam if I want to. If you see her early game, it feels really good because now whatever weenie your opponent puts in the front is getting bopped, and you're swinging for 3, potentially 2 that turn. If they slam a 4K, again, you play your 2-1 Byakuya or your 3-1 Byakuya, and you pop that real easy. And it always throws them off because now they're like, oh, there's a Byakuya, right? You'd be surprised how many people don't understand how Byakuya works and how to play against it. It's quite astonishing, honestly. And it's going to be even more egregious once the binder cards come out. We are running this at a 4 of. If you don't know what Senjumaru does, read up on it. You should know what this card does. The 4-1 Renji. Now, this Renji, when we added it to the deck, it put in a lot of work, bro. A lot of work. We could have made arguments for it being put up to at a 3 of, but honestly, having it at a 2 of was nice. Being able to slam it and press your opponent with double damage, as well as rate it -3 and then play the 2-1 Byakuya to get rid of a 4K or get rid of a potential attacker defensively. This card works amazing as a defensive raid in this deck. Yeah, self-explanatory. You guys know what Renji do. Next, we have the king himself, Senbon Sakura Kagerushi Byakuya. Okay, this card, bro, a powerhouse. Everyone always has to read it once you rate it and you start doing crazy crap because they're realizing their board is disappearing. You play that Senbon Sakura, you go 3 here to that 4K body, 1 here to that 2K body, right? Or you go 1 here to their 3K body, you raid Byakuya, -2 to the board, right? That 4K now dies, that 3K becomes a 1K, right? And then when attacking, -1 card, pop that, right? Now if you do that with 2 Byakuyas, their whole board's gone. What you're normally probably going to do as well is go 3 here to a 4K, 1 here to a 2K or 1500 body, right? Then you're going to raid Byakuya, -1K to the board. That 4K dies, that 2K dies. Their other 2Ks now 1K. When attacking, -1. They just lose 3 blockers, just like that, just because of a 2-card combo. And again, if you have 3 action points, if you have a Senjumaru or a Renji or someone else that you can play off of that, you pop the other card, now their whole board is gone and you're swinging for crazy damage. Now, if you have a final and you're able to give that Renji double damage, even more crazy stuff, right? And that's just the power of this card, bro. It's honestly, it makes sense why Byakuya Rukia was the powerhouse it was in JP. And finding a way to make it fit over here with Squad 0 was amazing. Again, the matchup spread that you have for it is amazing. You just have to see your cards, know the matchup, and play it right. Going into the Mustang wasn't a problem for me, honestly. It was always a good close game, and it either went to who saw it or who played around the matchup better. The Squad 0 mirror matchup, once again, just came down to pilot, understanding when to remove the cards. It's like a fair deck that isn't fair. And one of our sayings is, if we're going to play the deck, it has to have some type of element that isn't fair, right? Toto, I love Toto, but some people are chosen and some people aren't, because the deck is consistently inconsistent. There's some people that are just able to tap into its consistency, and there's some people that just can't find a fucking Toto to save their freaking life, bro. But yeah, when played, remove 2 cards from your sideline, -1K to the board. Active main, You can place 3 cards from your sideline into your removal area. You give this character impact, and when attacking, you may place 1 card from your sideline into your removal area. If you do choose up to 1 character, it gets minus 1,000. And that's what makes this deck the Nuke deck. Now, the Soifon, this card did wonders for me during the tournament. I was not seeing a lot of the combos that we normally would get, and I was soft bricking, and this card single-handedly won me so many games, especially into the squad 0 matchup. Them pushing their double damage Ichigo, and then me just playing the color or the 2-1 and going, yeah, I'm gonna pay 1 AP. This is gonna die at the start of your turn. A lot of people not knowing what this card did, bro, insane value, especially if you get this early on and you can have an empty space be expendable. Your opponent doesn't know what to do. Like, so there were times when once I get to 4 energy, I just AP extend just to play that, just to tap it, just to pop whatever raid target that they have on their front line. Like, I'm cool with that. It's fine, bro. It's fine. I'm still gonna have 2 bodies in the front. So we run this at a 1 of. We teeter back and forth of playing it at a 2 of. The 3500 BP was also very important if you went up against blue Ichigo or yellow Full Metal or blue Fairy SAO, right? Because there are some decks that are just unblockable unless you have a 3500 BP. We are running this at a 1 of. Your standard, we're running 3 finals. Again, this is one card that we went back and forth between running 2 finals or 3 finals. I know some of you are gonna think that we're crazy, but honestly, when you have a deck that gets so much value from removing your opponent's board, you start to learn that you don't really need a final, especially if you're tap drawing when you need to. If you see a final, you just hold on to the final and you play it when you need to, but having that rotation, knowing when to push, all that stuff, honestly, the more and more I learn this game, the better I get. The more I see what decks value Bankais and what decks you might only need a splash, right? Take that with a grain of salt, but that's just my thought. We are running the most important card in the deck. This card single-handedly won me so many games. What's his name? Card Nerd. Shout out Card Nerds. He's another UA content creator. Ended up playing him, I think, in my 6th round. Bruh did not know that this was a double blocker. Thought it was like the Uryu or whatnot. Saved me some crazy early damage. Went for a triple push. Only 1 got through. Double block. Now, what makes this card so valuable is the fact that it also doubles as an active trigger, so it can activate itself if you get it out of life and you have this on board. It is a 3000 BP body, which means that it can swing over any of your opponent's 4K bodies if you have Byakuya on board. And on top of that, the amount of people that will overextend just to remove this body, just for me to hit a color trigger out of life and play it back to field. You know how many people I tilted, bro? You know how many people we tilted, bro? You know how many times I got tilted popping this shit, and then the first life or the next life is a color trigger and the bitch comes right back onto the field? This card is the MVP, bro. And a lot more people need to put respects on double blocks. A lot of people do, especially if it is a purple double block 2-drop. This card's insane, bro. Honestly, insane value. Insane value. And I got to bust out the super pre-release Orihime, so it was an honor playing this. Part of me feels like if I would have committed to taking Toto or committed to taking Asta, you know, if I was committed to taking something I was a little more comfortable with, I wonder if I could have top cut, and I think I could have, right? I'm impressed with how well I piloted a deck last minute that I wasn't familiar with. A lot of intricate fundamentals. You know, it honestly felt like summer camp. Like that training arc when you and your team go away to the beach and you train, blah, 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 blah. Learning minor things of knowing when to tap draw, when to triple push, hit the Gregorian push, right? Really played a big factor in a lot of these games, and I found myself not even having the crazy combo to board wipe and still winning some of these games purely because I understood and had card advantage because of the tap draws. I understood when to pressure my opponent by pushing 4, right? And swinging out and dropping the weenies, etc., etc. And I do think there is still expression here. I want to go over some side quests. It was super cool. Indianapolis, bro, guys, the Midwest food, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how it went straight through me. I had bubble guts. I was on the toilet every single day, bro. The burgers didn't feel seasoned to me. The steak, maybe I'm spoiled in LA, bro. Maybe I'm spoiled in California. I'm sorry, bro. Like, you guys have to put me on to whatever the good food is out there when I go to GenCon next year, because I was babysitting that toilet and it was egregious, bro. It was egregious. I will say, what is it? Steak Shack? Steak and Shake? Shake and Steak? I don't know. Steakhouse? All I know is they had a cotton candy smoothie, and that cotton candy smoothie was hitting. But at the same time, that the next couple of days was blue and green and made me like, oh my gosh. The one thing that I'm super excited to talk about that I got to experience there was the Riftbound playtest. Everyone knows that I am a League of Legends whore. I love League of Legends. League is love, League is life. And I'm super excited about the TCG coming out. I got to meet the influencer director, I think Mel it is, for Riftbound. She was super sweet, super nice. And bro, when I tell you the line that there was at Riftbound, the amount of people that got to play it, it was crazy. Being able to actually hold the cards, the physical cards, and play with other people in person was amazing. The card stock feels good. We got to see our brother from another mother, Cosmic, play in the creative influencer round thing. It's cool taking some photos of that and showing it to the community as well. I'm super excited to play that game, bro. I got my proxies. Bro. I got my proxies. Super excited to try that, as well as Div, bro. Shout out the Haven Boys as well. Shout out the whole team and everything, bro. I felt like both being there for fun and entertainment as well as content creators, I think we all did our thing. And you know, Matt keeps telling me like, hey bro, I know it's hard for you to click record and stuff with your migraines and then work, but like if you keep moving forward, you keep staying consistent, you know, hopefully you'll be able to do this full time. And it was amazing being able to cover the regionals. It was amazing being able to cover the Riftbound booth and see the love and attention that the community was giving both me, the Haven Boys, Cosmic, bro. Like I genuinely appreciate it every single time you guys decide to show us love. Thank you for stopping by the tea house. I hope you guys enjoyed your tea break, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.